All right. So once again, welcome to week one, the actual challenge. This is the Real Estate Abundance Plan Challenge, where I want to help you and give you the tools that you need to spend the next 4 weeks with me and create your own business plan, aka abundance plan. Because let's just put it out there that we want our business to bring us more abundance than anything. We want the closings, we want the money, we want the freedom to live the lives that we're living, right? And I've been an agent for 23 years and I'm so grateful that I did this. But has it always been easy? No. Had I have avoided some of the things I'm hoping to help you guys avoid and work through, I could have been a lot better a lot sooner. But there was a reason I did all of that, because I was meant to help other agents and really the next generation of agents really get a plan that works for them. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. So who am I even? So some of you on the call already know who I am. I've been an agent for 22 years now. I am what you consider a career realtor. I've had a successful business, between 40 and 60 deals every year. I've raised 4 sons throughout that time. And I've loved the opportunities that I've had, to do this, because I was able to go to PTA. I was able to do my own schedule. But I do have that entrepreneurial brain where I get up every morning and I know what I need to do. And I feel like a lot of agents don't. They're like, what do I do? And I did have times where I walked through the halls at KW years ago thinking, man, what are these other agents doing? I need to figure it out. And I did figure it out. And now I want to share that with you. So I co-authored a book a couple of years ago called Step Into Your Brave. And I feel like that's what I've spent my entire life doing, stepping into my brave, like being fearful and doing it anyway, and really putting myself out there. I remember when we started doing video and I was like, I am not going to do video. Like, they're crazy. I just wanted to show some houses. But no, we got to do the marketing, and that's all part of it. So I am a published author of a #1 Amazon best-selling book. I have 4 sons and 7 grandsons. And, we're going to talk about childhood trauma a little bit today, because that is a lot of what makes up a lot of the entrepreneurial people and why we do what we do. So we're going to dig into that. But my whole point for telling you guys that is just that if I can do this and I can do those transactions, like anybody could do this. Anyone can. And no matter what market we're in, there is still business being done. So you got to get rid of that negativity and that fear, and you just got to be confident and know that you can do it. So I'm going to help you. And this is what our next month looks like. Every week we have one of these pillars. These are the 4 pillars that make up my entire platform. And mindset, that's this week. This week is mindset and building the plan. That is the challenge to do over the next 4 weeks. And then next week, we're going to meet back here at the same time. We're going to talk about your real estate foundations and what those look like. And, just to give you guys an example, I'm going to scroll through all the slides and show you a little bit about what we're going to talk about over those next few weeks. But we're going to talk about automations on week 3 and your lead generation funnels on week 4. But first of all, I think it's so important that we dig into our minds and where we're at and what we're thinking about, and so many different things that go with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that first. And then once we get this all going and we kind of know where we're going, we'll be able to implement the other things. One of my favorite gurus, Tony Robbins, love Tony Robbins, so inspiring and encouraging, and I just love what he's all about, has this quote: what we focus on determines how we feel, and how we feel, our state of mind. Like, that's so important, your state of mind. You need to just write that down. What is my state of mind? And ask yourself that question throughout your day, every day, and figure out where you're at, because where it is, wherever you are, it powerfully influences our actions and our interactions. So if you find yourself with a state of mind that you can't do this, or the market's too tough, or I don't have enough money, or all the negative things, like if that's your state of mind, that's what you're going to go out there and do. And instead, you need to flip that around and start saying, there's deals to be made. There's deals that are happening. How do I get a piece of that pie? What do I need to implement into my business so that I can get some of that? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is a lot more of that. So your mindset and your daily routine. All right. So first of all, though, we're going to dig into the mindset and your past traumas. This is where, let me introduce you, Angela. I said I did kind of, but I didn't really give you a chance to say, hey. So
That's
Angela, I know you're always just like, I'm here whenever you need me. Angela is, I just have to say, like 6, 7 years ago, I don't know how long. You guys, these years just run together for me now. But when
It's been 7.
it's been 7. That's just
Mhm.
crazy right there.
Mhm.
But whenever I first started working with you, and I'm a big part of this group called Power Girls. And Power Girls is an empowering women group where we really just inspire and help women through everything. Lots of stuff. We're still working on where we're going with that group. But Angela was a guest speaker in that. And she had this whole platform called Productive Flow, and lots of stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I need more of that. Like I watched her presentation and I called her. I said, I need to hear a little bit more, but I'm not hiring you as a coach. And no. Before we got off the call, I couldn't write her the check fast enough. And it was the best money I ever spent for 3 years to help her transform my mindset from a scarcity and lack minded version of who I was and who I used to be, which was a journey, you guys. This is a journey I'm still going on, into an abundant and I could do anything kind of mindset. And so it really is a mindset. And how do you figure that out if that's you? And Angela's going to help me go over some of these slides, but I'm just going to point out a few things here. Like, we're all in a different place here, but most likely we all have some kind of trauma in our past, right, Angela?
Mhm. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And that's one thing that was really interesting that I found. So I'll tell you guys, I've been in real estate for 30 years. I've been a coach, consultant, um, trainer, speaker, those types of things for 21 years. And I really focused in on the psychology of real estate agents and really trying to understand real estate agents on a more of an inner level. And, agents would always come and say, I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it. And so that was something I said, well, okay, well, we need to dig into that. We need to find out why, instead of just continuing to push through to do something that, for whatever reason, you've got a block. You're not wanting to do it. You're not doing it. So it was interesting because one of the things that I found is that so many of us as agents had very similar childhood experiences, and not just not necessarily abusive childhoods, although some of us did have that, but just traumatic in the sense of leaving childhood feeling like you're not good enough, or you're a burden, or you're too much. Sometimes you can feel like all of that at the
well,
same time.
yeah. And and our parents, Angela, like, it's funny. I
Mhm.
have a new word for that, because I wasn't abused as a kid, but I had a lot of trauma. Like, my family, my dad was an alcoholic and my mom was, they were divorced by the time I was 1. And I feel like I just constantly was trying to fend for myself, like at age 5. And so I don't want to say that they were bad parents. They didn't know better. They were in the 70s. These were 70s parents, like,
Yeah,
but
true.
trauma is huge because it leaves us with all the stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, and really what that boils down to is having parents that were not emotionally mature to the level where they could regulate their own emotions. And so their emotions were taken out on their children in various ways, right? And I mean, I'm a parent. I've done the same thing. It's not like you
Yeah.
have an intention
Same.
of doing that, but it's certainly something that does come across. And so one of the things that's really interesting is that a lot of agents felt like they didn't have home in the same way that they felt other people have it. So they'd go to a friend's house and see like, oh, you've got what I'm after, you know?
Yeah.
And then
I
we would
remember
go
that
home. It
so
was just like,
clearly.
yeah, then not have it for ourselves. So um there's this desire to really feel and create this sense of home that we have. And so, because we feel like we're missing it, or we don't have it, or we haven't created it, a lot of times it sets us up to be in that state of feeling like we're just never there. We're never catching up. We're never good enough, or we can never create what it is that we're really after. And so we tend to create a lot of distraction and chaos and things around us to not like it's like we're it's not that we don't want to focus. It's that it becomes very difficult to focus when there's so many things around us that are putting us in that fight or flight response. And we definitely have a hard time regulating our own emotions sometimes.
Absolutely.
So
So we're
yeah.
going to help you today. We're going to give you some ideas here in a minute. If we're talking to you, and this sounds familiar, trust me, you're not alone. Like we
Mm-mm.
all have this still to this day. But once you start recognizing it, you're able to kind of step out of that space and become a fly on the wall. Like I literally put that in here, like become a fly on the wall inside of your mind and figure out what you're telling yourself. What stories are you telling yourself? Where are you in your healing journey? Like you know what, life is a journey, you guys. Like they're giving all these titles to all these different things and different emotional and personality disorders, and they're calling it all disorders. But you guys, it's just a journey. We're all on a journey through life to do the best that we can. Like, you might have ADD, ADHD, and there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the world. But right now, we need to just kind of take it down a little bit into a place where you're the one running the show for the day. Be the fly on the wall, track your time and figure out where you're spending it, and figure out what's kind of taking you out of that planning, that the place you want to be. Like pay attention to your emotions and what's going on throughout the day so that you can get back. And this is a lot of this is about getting rooted in your vision. And so I'm going to give you guys some awesome tools today that you walk away from so that you could go put your stuff all together, and then you'll know more about what I'm talking about. But figure out what they are. What are they? Do you need to go to counseling? Because at Epic, we get 12 free mental health care sessions a year. So if you need to go get some help and have somebody else kind of take a look from the outside in, that's free for you guys. Like there's nothing wrong with getting help, if that person knows more than you do, though. That's the whole thing. That's my thing with counseling. It's like I've been to some and I'm like, I need a different one. That's okay. Not everybody knows everything. But do the work you need to do to figure that out. And I love journaling. Angela has a great idea with figuring with your time journaling for the day. I love that. Tell them about that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Time journaling. Yeah. So one of the things that agents really struggle with a lot is managing their time and feeling like they have enough time in the day to get everything done that they need to get done. And so one of the best ways to really understand how to manage your time better is to analyze your time. And the only way you can do that is by really understanding where it's going. So, kind of like keeping a food journal where you would write down, what you ate, when you ate it, type of thing, what you felt like afterwards, like you're trying to track for allergies or something. We're doing the same thing for our time. So, we're just going to take a week and we're going to write down everything that we do as we're doing it. how long it took us to do it, like the time of day we started, when we finished, and how we felt while we were doing it. Because what happens at the end of the week is you can look back at that and say, how did I actually spend my time? What are the things that I had to do that didn't feel good? And you can say, well, why didn't that feel good? Right. So then you ask yourself some questions around that. Could be that it doesn't feel good because it's an activity that brings up an emotional trigger for you. It could be that it doesn't feel good because you're doing it at the wrong time of the day, right? Maybe you're a morning person and you're very on point in the morning. You're trying to take a brain focused activity and take it on in the afternoon when you're like, I'm not there yet right now, right? You need to do those things in the morning. But you'll also find that there's things that you can consolidate, right? Things that are taking up your time that don't need to take up that time, things that you could be more efficient with. And so it's really just understanding how you're utilizing your time, what could be taken away, and then how to fit in the things that you want to do that you're not doing. And that's a big part of it too. And it's really finding that balance and being more intentional with your time.
Love it. Love it. And you guys, it's really good to work through all of these things that we're talking about and get to the space so that you can look at your business plan that we're going to create and do that work. But until you kind of try to work through some of this stuff, we can't live in the past and the future at the same time. Like, we've got to let the past go. We got to heal some of that stuff, and we got to be willing to be open to new beginnings and new chapters. And those are all waiting for you. You are a real estate agent, and I love to think of real estate as like the doorway to so many other things. Like, yeah, we got our real estate license and we can sell houses, but when we have those closings, we can build a business doing whatever we want. Like, the possibilities are so endless. So let's get busy on building the beautiful life that's waiting for us, right? All right. So a couple more things I want to go over here before we get into the actual plan. I want to point this out because it's worth saying, and it's something that so many agents, especially newer agents, have an issue with: competition. I hate competition. I'm not competitive. I want to build my plan. I want to stick to it. I don't want to worry about what other agents are doing. I want to build lead generation funnels that work for me. I want to be able to do a video and not worry about what others are saying about it. You need to let go of any competition mindset things that you have. Say, no, thank you. That's competitive. I don't need to be there. I'm working on my plan. And also, if you're comparing yourself to other agents and what they're doing, and you're feeling like you're down here on step one and they're up there on step 10, like, you're probably right, because they've probably been doing it for a lot longer. But guess what? Don't worry about where they are. Stay here on your step and just go slowly and get your steps done. And you might push them off that step, like, you might get up there and not even realize it. And like, you're doing just as good as they are. So just stay in your own space. We all start at zero. And there's room for all of us as real estate agents. There's still deals going on. If you don't think that there are, open up your MLS and go look at how many closings happened last week in your real estate market, in your area. How many closings were there? And then think, how many of those that I need in order to make my business be successful? Probably one. Like, any of us, if we closed one deal a week, we would be in a completely different market mindset. Everything would be changed. And that's all you need. So go do the math on that. And then let's do the work so that you have that one closing. All right, Angela, this one's back to you. Your 3MIQ and why this is important.
Yeah, so this is actually something that I pulled off of Mind Valley. If you guys are familiar with Mind Valley and Vishen Lakhiani, the three most important questions. So basically, what you do is you take a piece of paper and you create three columns across the top. And so the one on the left is experiences, the one in the middle is growth, and the one on the right is contribution. And what you do is you take about 5 minutes each column and just brain dump everything that comes to you on the experiences that you want to have, how you want to grow, and what you want to give back. And what that does is it really helps you identify the things that are the most important to you. This is how you actually want to live your life and spend your time. So if you did what I did before, what I talked about before in creating a time journal, you can actually kind of put these things side by side and say, here's what I actually want my life to be based on answering the three most important questions. How does my time actually look like that now? Kind of weigh them against each other. And then look at it again and say, how can I make my time look more like everything that's on this list? Because that's when you really start to realize what is most important to you, where you actually want to spend your time, what you want to be doing, and how you can then implement that into your daily life now, essentially giving you your dream life right this minute.
Love it. These exercises that we're sharing with you guys are going to help you in putting your plan together. So now that we've talked about some of these different exercises, I'm going to share with you my abundance plan and give you the link so that you could open this and do it on your own. So you hear people talking about what's your vision? Where do you want to go? What do you want? So I challenge you guys to just do it for a year. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? How many deals, transactions do you want to close? When you see other agents doing what they're doing, like what pieces of that do you want into your business? And, I'm going to give you the blank one, and it's going to be up to you to put the detail into your plan and then do the work to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here. The link I'm going to give you guys is my link tree. So let me just do this really quick. Copy. I'm going to put it in the chat box real quick so that you guys could all open it and have it. Paste. There. So, oh, everyone in the meeting now. There we go. Okay, so this is the link tree. So it's good when you open it in your own computer, you're going to be able to click all of these links and download everything. And I kind of have it in an order. So some of these other things that are on here are not going to make sense to you, like listings to leads. That's something we're going to dig into in week 3. Send out cards, VIP database. These are all things that as we move through the month and the next 4 weeks are going to make sense. Right now, what you need to do is your real estate abundance plan download. So when you click this download, you're going to need to make a copy. It's going to open up. It's going to look like this, and it's just a Google Doc for you to be able to go in and edit. I suggest that you keep it on digital because I open mine all the time and I get into it and I work on it. And then it's just a reminder. So it will really help you if you bookmark it and save it to your bookmarks bar. And then every day you could get up and open it and be like, okay, this is where I'm at. Read through it. And I'm going to open mine and share what mine looks like with you guys here in a second. Just so that you could kind of see the end result of what we're looking for and why we're doing this. You could change out this logo. Once you make a copy, well, let me just tell you really quick how you make a copy. When you open it, you click File, and then you click Make a Copy, and it does this. And then you're just going to change it to say like Dawn's Abundance Plan, and then make a copy. And then you'll be able to edit that copy. So you won't be able to edit this one until you make a copy. And this is just a reminder that every month you get to rejoin us. Like every month, every Tuesday, if you miss one, doesn't matter. Like we just redo these every single month. And we work on implementing now and perfecting later. 4 weeks is really not enough to get all of the things done that we're going to be talking about every single week. And so, this is week 1. This is where we want you to start with what spoke to you and the things that Angela and I have shared, and really sit down and do some mind work, daily, and get this stuff on paper so that you remember it. But this is your why. Like, why do you want this? I left you plenty of space in here so that you could go in and write down your why. Like, why do you even Why did you get your real estate license? Why do you want to close 10 deals this year? Why do you want more money? And then ask yourself more questions. When you say, because I want more money, why do you want more money? Is it more freedoms that you want? Is it that you want to leave a legacy? All of that. What's your vision? Where do you want your emotions to be? What do you want your health to look like? Your wealth, your relationships, your business. These are all the things that you first got to figure out what you want. What are your goals? Like, goals are that's a wide open thing. Goals are. I like setting 90-day goals, like for getting things implemented in my business, but then I have 5-year goals. We're not going to go into all that. This is going to be simple. This is going to be 1 year. And 1 year from now, what would you like to be different? What about yourself, your business, would you like to see change? And that's it. This is all that we're going to do this week. But you can see when we go down here, we're going to start working on all these other things. And by the time we're done, you're going to have a business plan, abundance plan, that's going to have all of the stuff that you need to be working on it. And I'm going to just go open mine up really quick on abundance plan. Oh, it's my abundance plan. I have it bookmarked somewhere, but I don't know where my abundance plan. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. So downloading mindset always first. Watch this when I'm feeling down. I copy links and I put it in here. So anytime I'm feeling down, I call it below the line. So I have this thing that I say internally, and I'm like, I call it above the line. I try to stay above the line with my health, with my wealth, with everything. Like when I get and I find my state of mind being below the line, like I'm going to know what I need to go do to get it back above the line. And it's just that simple. I just don't live below the line anymore. I don't. Like I used to be able to say I did, and I did throughout my days. My feet used to hit the ground every morning in a panic of, oh my God, how am I going to survive today? How I got to rob from Peter to pay Paul. I got to do this. Like, oh my gosh. But now my feet hit the ground and I'm like, I got this. Like, I know what I got to get up and do. And I'm inspired to go do it. But it starts with mindset every day, all these different things. These are different things that I do every day. My word for the year is abundance. I try to live that every single day. I don't have all this stuff wrote on y'all's because you need to go write it. Things that are important to you, you get to go play around on your own abundance plan. But you could see my why. Why do I want this? I wrote it all out. I edited it. I also added my mission. Like my mission in life is to provide a pathway and space for real estate agents to find their passion, follow their dreams, and create a business that supports their best life, leading by example, documenting all of my lessons and experience. And so if you follow me at all on anything, I'm an open book. Like I share so many different experiences and journeys that I've been on, co-authored a book with those stories because I feel like in order to help other people, I got to put my shit out there, and I do it regularly. So my vision, this is where I want to be. These are all of the things. That's where I want to live. This is the space I want to live in. And how am I going to do it? Like these are the things, this is how I will get there, by creating the foundations, the automations, and the funnels. And that's the things we're going to go through next. This is the first day of this challenge. You got to come back next week and the week after because we're going to build this amazing abundance plan for each one of you. So I hope that helps. So grab your own copy, and then I'm going to now. One more thing. I want to give you some ideas. Like these are some of the things that have helped me along the way to really pull myself out of that hole, that pit, below the line, all of those different things. Visualize your vision. Like just sit there and listen to a song or something and just really picture where it is you want to be and imagine yourself being there. Very powerful because you can be and do and create anything that you want. You hear a lot of the words these days about co-creating, or what's some of those other words? I don't know. But it's all about just really figuring out where you want to go and doing the work that you need to do to get there. Meditations. I love meditating. I love visual or guided meditations are amazing. There's you can just go to YouTube and you can find guided meditations on all kinds of different things. And don't listen if it's not resonating with you and it doesn't feel really good. Don't do that one. Go find somebody else. I got a few people that I follow, and if anyone wants to message me for more ideas on that, I'd be happy to chat with you outside of this. I'm reading always at least one or two books. I have 3 books that I'm reading right now I'm reading them over and over, and it's the Who Not How, the 10x is better than 2x, and then the Gap and the Gain. It's the same author, and it all has to do with abundance and just a completely different mindset. Those are my favorite books to read right now. But if I would have tried to read those books 5 years ago, I wouldn't have got any of that. So where are you? And if you need suggestions, book a call with me and let's talk about that. Like, I have been reading for 15 years. In high school, I wouldn't read a darn thing, wouldn't even read a history book. And now I regret that. I'm like, man, I sure wish I'd have paid attention in history, because I wish I knew more than what I do today. But I've made up for it. I read a lot. Inspiring YouTube videos. Figure out your intentions and write them down. I love to do yoga and walking. Healthy lifestyle. These are all just some ideas and some things that have helped me along the way. And just really pay attention to the top 5 people that you're hanging out with, and make sure that they're, giving you the advice that is the right advice. So with all of that and this challenge, and you have my link tree, you could schedule a call with me here if you need to, and just come back every week. This is going to change you a lot in 1 month. So with that being said, I am now going to stop recording.